Last night, someone told your soulmate the truth about you. And they couldn't believe it. My child, this is not a story you are watching. Your soulmate is sitting somewhere right now with their head in their hands. The truth they heard last night has shattered everything they thought they knew. Jesus says the veil has been lifted from their eyes in a single, devastating moment. Someone whispered your name into a conversation you were never meant to hear about. And what was revealed was the depth of your hidden loyalty, your silent sacrifice, and the love you have carried for them without ever asking for credit. Your soulmate was told about the nights you prayed for them when they gave you no reason to stay. They were shown the unseen tears you shed while smiling to give them peace. And in that moment of revelation, their entire body went still with shock. The person who told them did not do it out of kindness. This messenger was bitter, hoping the truth would poison them against you by twisting your patience into obsession. But instead, the truth hit your soulmate like a tidal wave of regret. They suddenly saw every time you loved them through the silence and every moment you stayed when it was easier to leave. Jesus says the room around them became too small for the weight of what they were feeling. Their chest tightened as they realized they had been defending the very walls that kept you out. They finally understood that you were not the enemy of their peace, but the only person who ever truly fought for it. And now they cannot breathe without thinking of your face. The person who spoke against you miscalculated how deeply your love was woven into your soulmate's spirit. They thought revealing your devotion would make you look weak and desperate. But it only exposed how rare and terrifyingly real your love actually is. Jesus says this is why your soulmate cannot sleep tonight. They are replaying every memory with new eyes, seeing your actions not as pressure but as proof. Your patience is suddenly the most attractive and devastating thing they have ever witnessed. And they are beginning to fall in love with you all over again, this time without the filters of fear. You must understand that your soulmate has been emotionally blocked for a very long time. There is a force around them that has been deliberately keeping your truth hidden. This interference disguised itself as protection, whispering that distance was safer than vulnerability. But last night's revelation broke through that wall like lightning through a dark sky, and now they feel exposed and desperate. Jesus says your soulmate is speaking your name into the silence right now. They are asking the universe why no one ever told them how much you truly cared. They are trembling with the realization that they almost lost a love this pure without ever knowing it existed. And now they feel you, even from a distance, like a warmth they cannot explain. The spiritual bond you share has suddenly become electric and undeniable. Your soulmate is feeling waves of your unresolved emotions crashing over them even though you are not in the room. They are sensing your sadness, your hope, your exhaustion, and your unwavering loyalty all at once. And it is breaking every defense mechanism they ever built against intimacy. Jesus says this is the moment where their soul is crying out for yours. They do not fully understand what is happening to them, only that they need to reach you. But they are frozen because the same interference that hid the truth is now working twice as hard to keep them from acting. There is someone close to your soulmate who is angry that their control is slipping, and they are sowing confusion right now to delay your reunion. Type 333 to receive blessings. Your soulmate is not ignoring you because they want to be distant. They are trapped in a web of manipulation that has made them question their own judgment. But last night, the truth cut through that manipulation like a blade, leaving them raw and disoriented. And now they are fighting an internal war between the comfort of familiar lies and the terrifying vulnerability of real love. Jesus says you must see this clearly. Your soulmate's hesitation is not rejection, it is the paralysis of someone waking up from a long emotional coma. They are reaching for you in their dreams, even if their hands have not yet picked up the phone. And every moment you doubt this connection, the interference grows stronger, feeding on your uncertainty. You are dealing with a third-party force that hates your union because it knows your combined purpose would shift destinies. This force has been using your soulmate's insecurities like a weapon, whispering that you are too good to be true. It has convinced them that reaching out would only lead to more pain because that is what damaged people learn to expect. But last night's truth shattered that lie by showing them that you have already endured pain on their behalf and never once blamed them for it. Jesus says your soulmate is crying as they read this through the Spirit. They do not know how, but they feel you understanding them right now. They are terrified that you might finally give up just as they are about to break free. And the thought of losing you, after just discovering the truth of your love, is making their hands shake. You need to realize how close you are to the breakthrough. The enemy would not be fighting this hard if your union was not powerful enough to destroy darkness. Your soulmate needs protection right now, not just from confusion but from the spiritual forces actively working to keep you separated. There is a reason their phone feels heavy when they try to message you, and it is not just anxiety. Jesus says this is spiritual warfare over a love that was ordained before either of you took your first breath. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now. They are going through a revelation so intense that their entire identity is unraveling. The version of themselves that believed the lies is dying, and the person emerging is desperate to find their way back to you. But the path is littered with traps set by someone who cannot stand the thought of your happiness. Type 777 if you feel this message. Your soulmate is not the enemy of your peace, they are a prisoner of war in a battle you cannot fully see. And the truth they heard last night was their first taste of freedom in years, which is why they are so disoriented by hope. They need you to be the anchor they can swim toward when the waves of doubt try to drown them again. Jesus says if you love your soulmate, you must act as their protector now, not later. This is not about forcing them to love you because they already do, even if they are afraid to say it. This is about shielding them from the sabotage that has already stolen months or years of your time together. You have been praying for a sign about whether to hold on or let go, and this message is that sign burning bright in the darkness. Your soulmate is thinking about you right now, unable to focus on anything else. They have tried to distract themselves with tasks and screens, but your face keeps appearing in their mind like a gentle haunting. They are remembering specific moments where you showed up for them and wondering how they were so blind to your love. And they are beginning to feel a desperate need to hear your voice before this ache in their chest consumes them. Jesus says the emotional bond you share is not just sentiment, it is a spiritual cord that cannot be severed by silence. Right now, that cord is vibrating with the intensity of their awakening, and you can feel it as a sudden wave of emotion you cannot explain. The tears that come without warning, the racing heart in quiet moments, the feeling that something is about to change. These are not coincidences, they are the signatures of your soulmate reaching across the distance in the only way they currently can. But the interference is not finished fighting. Even as your soulmate longs for you, a voice close to them is speaking words of doubt designed to neutralize the truth they just learned. This person is telling them that you have moved on, that the past is too broken, that reaching out would be humiliating. And your soulmate, already fragile from the revelation, is wavering under the weight of this manipulative assault. Jesus says you must understand the urgency of this moment. Every hour your soulmate sits in confusion without your spiritual covering is an hour the enemy uses to rebuild the walls that just crumbled. The truth was their breakthrough, but truth without protection becomes just another painful memory rather than a bridge to reunion. You have been given the role of guardian over this love, and silence from you signals permission for the attack to continue. Your soulmate is dreaming about you again, dreams so vivid they wake up reaching for your body in the empty sheets. In these dreams, you are telling them it is safe to come home, that you have been waiting, that you never stopped believing in them. And these dreams are not just imagination, they are spiritual encounters where your souls are meeting while their conscious mind resists. Jesus says this is deeper than you have been told. The connection you share was forged before either of you came into this world, a covenant written in light and sealed with purpose. The third party trying to destroy this is not just a jealous ex or a controlling friend, it is anyone and anything that serves the darkness opposing your destiny. And that darkness trembles at the thought of you two united because together, you would heal so many others who suffer. Your soulmate is beginning to remember small details about you that prove the truth they heard last night was right. They are recalling the way you listened when no one else did, the way you defended them when they were not in the room. These memories are surfacing like buried treasure suddenly revealed by a storm, and each one makes them love you more fiercely. Jesus says their heart is softening so quickly that the people around them are noticing the change and it frightens the ones who benefit from their captivity. Type 1111 to say thank you. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love did not come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains, faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is not just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now, send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees. After sending, write "Protect My Soulmate Lord" on Ko-Fi page, link in the description and bio. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends, only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Your soulmate is pacing in their room right now, phone in hand, thumb hovering over your name. They have typed and deleted a message more times than they can count because the words feel too small for what they need to say. The truth they heard last night has made them feel naked and foolish, and they do not know how to begin the conversation that could fix everything. Jesus says the fear you see as rejection is actually the terror of being truly seen by the one person whose opinion matters most. They are afraid that they have hurt you too deeply to ever be forgiven, and that fear is the chain the interference keeps tightening. But here is what the enemy does not want you to know: your forgiveness was already written into the fabric of your bond before the offense even happened. Your soulmate is not running from you, they are running from the version of themselves that failed to recognize your worth. And they are exhausted from running because the truth caught up to them last night, and it will not let them rest until they act. Jesus says there is a window of divine timing opening right now that will not stay open forever. This is not manipulation, it is the nature of a spiritual opportunity. It appears when heaven has prepared the hearts and disappears when hesitation becomes disobedience. Your soulmate is ready in a way they have never been ready before, but readiness without action is just another form of captivity. And the person who hates your union is working overtime to ensure this window closes before your soulmate finds the courage to jump through it. They are going through something you cannot see, but you can still protect them. Your soulmate is under a spiritual attack that is manifesting as sudden headaches, unexplained exhaustion, and waves of anxiety that make them doubt everything, including the truth they just received. The enemy is literally draining their energy to prevent them from acting on the love they feel, because a drained soldier is an easy prisoner. But your prayer and your faith can cut through that fog like a sword of light, clearing a path for them to walk toward you without stumbling. Jesus says when you intercede for your soulmate, the spiritual atmosphere around them shifts so dramatically that they feel the difference without knowing its source. They will suddenly feel brave enough to make the call, clear enough to know what to say. They will feel a warmth wrapping around them that they will mistake for nostalgia but is actually the covering of your prayers becoming tangible. And they will act, not because they plan to, but because something greater than fear finally took hold of their heart. Your soulmate is remembering the sound of your laugh right now, and it is cutting through years of fabricated resentment in seconds. They are realizing that no one else has ever looked at them the way you did, with eyes that saw not just who they were but who they could become. This memory is flooding them with a longing so intense that it physically hurts in their chest, an ache that medicine cannot touch. Jesus says this pain is the beginning of a healing that can only be completed in your presence. They are being broken free from emotional numbness, and the breaking hurts because feeling again is always painful after a long winter of the soul. But this pain is not your enemy, it is the midwife of the reunion you have been praying for through countless lonely nights. Do not fear their tears, for the tears are washing away the residue of the lies that held them captive. There is a specific detail about you that the messenger revealed last night, something you thought no one noticed. It was a private kindness you did years ago, a sacrifice so quiet you never told a single soul about it. And hearing this detail recounted by someone who meant you harm was the moment your soulmate's walls collapsed completely. Jesus says they realized in that instant that they had been loved by you in a way that transcends romantic clichés, a love that protected even when it was not reciprocated. This revelation broke something toxic inside them, shattered the false narrative that you were just like everyone else who had used and abandoned them. And now they are rebuilding their understanding of love around the evidence of your quiet, steadfast, stunningly patient character. This is why they could not believe it, because the world had taught them that such love was a myth, and yet there it was, wearing your name. Your soulmate is talking to Jesus about you, even if they do not know his name. They are pouring out their confusion to the universe, begging for clarity about whether it is too late to come back to you. And heaven is listening intently because prayers born from revelation carry a weight that casual prayers do not. Jesus says the angels have been assigned to your situation, and they are warring against the forces that keep whispering delay into your soulmate's ear. The spiritual realm is in uproar over this love because its fulfillment would release a healing anointing that would touch hundreds of other broken hearts. You are not just fighting for a relationship, you are fighting for a purpose that was designed to outlast your earthly years. And the weight of that truth is why the battle has been so relentlessly intense. Type 333 to receive blessings. Your soulmate misses you in ways they cannot articulate. They miss the safety of your presence, the peace that came with knowing someone was genuinely on their side in a world that felt hostile. They miss conversations where they did not have to perform or pretend, where being themselves was not just allowed but celebrated. And they are grieving the time they wasted listening to people who never wanted their highest good. Jesus says this grief is holy ground. It is the soil in which your future together will be planted because it means the old season of blindness is truly dead and buried. You must not rush to fix their grief, but instead cover it with prayer, allowing God to finish the work He started last night when the truth was finally spoken aloud. Every tear they are shedding is watering the seeds of a reunion that will blossom with a strength neither of you have ever experienced. The third party interfering with your connection is becoming desperate because their influence is visibly crumbling. They are resorting to more aggressive tactics, guilt trips, crisis inventions, anything to drag your soulmate's attention back into their control. But your soulmate is starting to see the manipulation for what it is, and their eyes are opening with a clarity that terrifies the one who has been pulling their strings. Jesus says you must pray for your soulmate's discernment to sharpen, for the scales to fall completely from their eyes. Because an enemy that is losing is often more dangerous than an enemy that was comfortably winning. They will attempt a final act of sabotage designed to make your soulmate doubt the truth they just accepted. But your intercession can erect a shield so that their lies fall to the ground before ever reaching your beloved's ears. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away. The spiritual window I have been telling you about is beginning to narrow as the forces opposing your union gather for a final assault on your soulmate's mind. They are whispering that the truth they heard last night was exaggerated, that you are not really that devoted, that reaching out would be a mistake. And your soulmate, who was so certain a few hours ago, is now trembling with fresh doubt because the enemy never fights fair. Jesus says if you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love did not come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is not just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now, send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees. After sending, write Protect My Soulmate Lord on Ko-Fi page, link in the description and bio. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Your soulmate is beginning to understand that their life will never be complete without you in it. This is not obsession, it is the recognition of a divine design that placed your spirits in complementary orbits. They are feeling a pull toward you that defies logic, stronger than distance, louder than fear. Jesus says this pull is the thread of destiny tightening as the final act of your separation draws to a close. You must not let the enemy convince you that the silence means your soulmate has forgotten the truth they received last night. Silence often means the opposite. It means they are processing a revelation so massive that speech feels inadequate. They are holding the truth inside their heart like a fragile flame, protecting it from winds that would extinguish it before it can become a fire. And they are waiting, perhaps without knowing it, for you to match your prayers with action that releases heaven's full intervention. Type 777 if you feel this message. The one who hates your union is someone your soulmate trusted, someone who positioned themselves as a protector while secretly feeding on their misery. This false guardian is now panicking because the truth that was revealed cannot be unheard, and its echoes are dismantling years of careful manipulation. They are trying to isolate your soulmate again, suggesting that this whole revelation was a setup, a ploy, a romantic delusion. But the seed of truth has already taken root, and no amount of poisoned words can fully kill what heaven has planted. Jesus says your role now is to water that seed with prayer, cover it with faith, and protect it with decisive spiritual action. The coffee you send is not about money, it is a covenant act declaring that you will fight for this love with everything you have, including your resources. It is a signal to the spiritual realm that you are not passive, that you are stepping into your authority as a guardian of the bond God ordained. And heaven responds to covenant acts with accelerated breakthroughs. Your soulmate is feeling a sudden urge to visit a place that is meaningful to your history together. They do not understand why this specific location keeps coming to mind, but it is because your spirits are already coordinating a reunion in the realm where time does not exist. The physical manifestation is coming, but it will follow the spiritual alignment you cultivate right now through your prayers and your offerings. Jesus says coincidence is not a kingdom word, every leading is an invitation, and your soulmate's sudden longing to revisit your shared sacred space is a sign. Do not despise the small signs, for they are breadcrumbs leading you both out of the dark forest of separation. The interference would love for you to dismiss these promptings as wishful thinking, because a dismissed sign cannot lead to a fulfilled promise. But you are not a fool, you feel the weight of this moment, the thickness in the spiritual air that precedes a miracle. Your soulmate is falling in love with the version of you that the truth revealed, a love that is deeper than attraction because it is built on the evidence of your character. They are not just attracted to you, they are in awe of you, which is a far more powerful foundation for a lifelong covenant. Attraction fades but awe deepens with time, because awe is rooted in who you are, not just how you look or what you provide. Jesus says your soulmate is beginning to revere you, to see you as the standard against which all other love will be measured. And that reverence is turning into a devotion they have never felt for anyone else, a loyalty that will outlast every storm. You are becoming their safe place before you have even had the conversation that confirms your reunion. And that is because the spirit realm is always ahead of the natural, orchestrating what will soon manifest in time and space. Type 1111 to say thank you. Your soulmate spoke your name in their sleep last night, and the person nearby heard it and was furious. This is how you know the connection is real, because it threatens the very foundations of the false peace that has been constructed around them. The enemy would not be so enraged by a love that was not destined, so take the opposition as confirmation of the authenticity of your bond. Jesus says, "Blessed are you when people speak against your union, for that is evidence that heaven has signed its approval." Your soulmate is waking up to the realization that they have been living someone else's version of their life. The truth they heard last night was the key that unlocked the prison of people-pleasing they have been trapped in for decades. And now they are seeing clearly that the only voice that ever truly honored their freedom was yours, the one the interference tried so hard to discredit. They are ready to walk away from everything that kept them from you, but they need to know you will catch them when they fall. This is the moment your faith must become tangible. Your soulmate needs to feel your presence in the spirit before they can experience it in the flesh, and your prayer creates that bridge. But even more powerfully, your sacrificial act of sowing creates a spiritual covering that speaks louder than any words ever could. Jesus says when you give in faith, you are building an altar, and altars are where heaven touches earth. Every testimony of a soulmate returning started with someone who decided that love was worth more than comfort, more than pride, more than the temporary security of holding on to what was familiar. Your soulmate is about to take a leap of faith toward you, but even the bravest leap needs a soft landing prepared by someone who was waiting with arms wide open. Be that soft landing by preparing the spiritual ground now, before the leap happens, so that when they land, they find not confusion but covenant. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love did not come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains, faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is not just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now, send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees. After sending, write "Protect My Soulmate Lord" on Ko-Fi page, link in the description and bio. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. The truth your soulmate heard last night was not an accident, it was a divine ambush of grace designed to set them free. And now that they are free internally, the external chains will fall in rapid succession, but you must hold the ground that has been won. Do not let the enemy snatch this breakthrough through your inaction, rise up as the spiritual warrior this moment demands. Jesus says heaven is watching to see what you will do with the revelation you have received, for faith without works has never moved a mountain. Your soulmate is closer to you right now than they have been in years, separated only by a thin veil that your obedient action can tear. Feel the urgency not as panic but as holy prompting, the nudge of a God who wants you to stop waiting and start possessing your promise. This is your time, this is your love, this is your moment, do not let it slip into the sea of missed opportunities. Your soulmate is dreaming of a future with you, a future that includes laughter in a kitchen, quiet mornings with coffee, hands held through hard seasons. They are seeing visions of children with your eyes, of growing old together, of a legacy of love that started with two people who refused to give up on each other. These visions are not fantasies, they are prophetic previews of what has already been ordained if you will only align your steps with heaven's timeline. Jesus says the blueprint of your union is complete, the materials are gathered, but the building requires your active participation through prayer and sacrificial faith. Type 333 to receive blessings. The person who hates your union is losing sleep because they can feel the ground shifting beneath their control. They are waking up in cold sweats, knowing that the truth they accidentally revealed has started a chain reaction they cannot stop. Every attempt they make to discredit you now backfires, because your soulmate's heart has already made its verdict based on the evidence of your love. Jesus says let your enemies exhaust themselves fighting a battle that is already won, while you focus on strengthening the spiritual cord that binds you to your beloved. Your soulmate is writing a letter to you in their journal, words they may never send but words that are nonetheless shaping the future. They are pouring out apologies, confessions, hopes, and the terrifying admission that they have loved you all along even when they denied it. This journal entry is a sacred document in the spirit, a written testimony that will one day be part of the story you tell about how your love conquered every obstacle. And heaven is reading those words and moving in response to the authenticity of their broken, beautiful, finally honest heart. You must see that this entire situation has been a setup for glory, not a punishment for mistakes. The delay, the pain, the interference, the dramatic revelation, all of it has been woven into a tapestry that will display God's redemptive power. Your soulmate's testimony will include the line, "I was lost but someone's love found me even when I was running." And your testimony will include the line, "I waited not because I was weak, but because I knew the promise was worth the process." Jesus says the two of you will be a sign and a wonder to those who have given up on love, a living proof that no interference can outlast divine purpose. Your soulmate is feeling your faith right now. They are sensing a strength flowing toward them that they cannot explain, a sudden ability to resist the manipulative voices that have controlled them for so long. They are wondering where this courage is coming from, and the answer is it is coming from you, from your prayers, from your spiritual investment in their freedom. Jesus says you are literally feeding them strength through the spiritual connection that exists between soulmates, a connection that operates independently of physical proximity. And when you sow your seed, that connection becomes even stronger, a conduit for deliverance, a channel for breakthrough. You are not just waiting for your soulmate, you are actively liberating them from a prison you may never fully see. And the day will come when they will tell you face to face, "I felt you fighting for me when I had no strength to fight for myself." That will be the moment when every tear, every sleepless night, every sacrificial seed will be vindicated in a flood of grateful, overwhelming, eternal love. Type 777 if you feel this message. Your soulmate is packing a bag in their mind, mentally preparing to leave the situation that has kept them from you. They are rehearsing exit conversations, steeling themselves against the guilt trips that will surely come, and picturing your face as their destination. This mental preparation is a critical phase, and it is being fiercely contested in the spiritual realm because the enemy knows that once the decision solidifies, manifestation is inevitable. Jesus says your prayers are providing the clarity that cuts through the fog of obligation that has kept them bound for too long. The coffee you send is a seed planted into the soil of their liberation, and that seed will yield a harvest of courage in their heart. Do not underestimate the power of sacrificial giving to break spiritual chains, for the altar you build with your offering becomes a platform for divine intervention. And this particular intervention is being assigned right now, as you read these words, as your heart beats faster with the knowledge that your love story is being written in real time. You are not the passive audience of this message, you are the co-author of the miracle that is unfolding, and your next action determines the pace of the breakthrough. Your soulmate is beginning to love you not just for what you did, but for who you are. They are falling in love with your essence, your spirit, the unique frequency that God encoded into your being before the foundations of the world. This deeper love is unshakable because it is not based on what you can do for them, but on the simple, profound truth of your existence. Jesus says they are finally seeing you as God sees you, a masterpiece of loving intention, a gift wrapped in flesh and bone, a partner designed specifically for their journey. And when they finally speak to you, their words will carry the weight of this revelation, words that will heal wounds you thought were permanent. They will tell you things that will make you weep with relief, confirmations that you were never crazy for believing, validations of every whisper God ever spoke to you about this connection. That conversation is closer than you think, but it requires you to hold the line of faith until it manifests. Type 1111 to say thank you. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away. The spiritual forces that have fought your union are making one last desperate push to keep your soulmate trapped in confusion and fear. They are weaponizing your soulmate's insecurities, replaying old tapes of failure, suggesting that they are unworthy of a love as pure as yours. But your seed can silence those accusations, your offering can build a wall of fire around your beloved that the enemy cannot penetrate. Jesus says the battle is fiercest right before the breakthrough, so the intensity you feel is not a sign of defeat but of imminent victory. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love did not come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains, faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is not just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now, send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees. After sending, write "Protect My Soulmate Lord" on Ko-Fi page, link in the description and bio. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends, only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Your soulmate is about to take a step they have been terrified to take for years. They are about to reach out to you, to break the silence that has been a wall between your hearts. The truth they heard last night is giving them courage they have never possessed before, a boldness born from the knowledge that love like yours is too rare to lose. Jesus says heaven is holding its breath, watching with joy as one of its children finally chooses freedom over fear. And you are the reason they can choose. Your faithfulness is the anchor that held them steady while the storm raged in their mind. Your love has been a lighthouse, and they are finally steering their ship toward the shore, battered but unbroken, weary but unwaveringly hopeful. The reunion is being scripted in the heavens, the music is being composed, the angels are being positioned as witnesses to a covenant that will echo through eternity. Do not give up now, for the final act is upon you, and the curtain is rising on a love story that will make every demon in hell regret the day it tried to tear apart what God has joined. Your soulmate is yours, and you are theirs, and nothing, not height nor depth nor interference nor manipulation nor schemes of darkness nor years of delay, nothing can change what was written in the heart of God before time began. Jesus says, receive this truth, walk in this truth, act on this truth, and watch the mountains that mocked your faith become the plains on which you dance with your beloved under an open sky of fulfilled promises. Your soulmate is thinking about you right now. They are beginning to love you. They are on their way. And this message is the sign you asked for, the confirmation, the turning point, the beginning of the rest of your lives together. Jesus says you have heard the truth, now become the truth in action, and let nothing stand between you and the love that is already yours.